Go love your own enemies. Don't be loving mine. My enemies are the theocratic fascists. I don't love them. I want to destroy them.
Child made in the image of God. Oh no, you're not. You're a faggot. And you can't join your church and you can't go to heaven. This is disgraceful. It's inhuman.
Dear Electoral College, thank you for proving once and for all that the Electoral College does nothing but rubber stamp elections, even the fraudulent ones that do not respect or represent the will of the majority of Americans. You did not save my country today like the flock of lemmings I suspected you to be, and you do not serve the purpose for which the Electoral College was established in the first place. For every suicide, every murder, assault, and rape done in Trump's name, for every child that is bullied, and every immigrant who is terrorized or persecuted, for every woman who dies from infection from a bungled illegal abortion, and for every elderly person who dies prematurely because he or she cannot afford decent medical care, I blame you. And I wonder how you will be able to sleep at night. In the meantime, I will utterly reject Trump, and I will do nothing to contribute to his Nazi-Leninist regime. If you feel that the United States government and President Obama has let us down, you're absolutely right. They have let us down. President Obama knew about what was going on with Russia in September, and all he could do was tell Putin to knock it off. Stop doing that, while letting this fraudulent, hacked election continue. And one candidate getting greatly benefited by it, while the other one was hamstringed by it. But now President Obama is going to blame the Democrats. There just weren't enough of you out voting, he says. Really? Interesting, when the popular vote shows 3 million more votes were cast for Hillary than for Trump. And interesting that there were numerous occasions with minority votes being suppressed so people couldn't vote. And interesting that there were 87 broken voting machines in Detroit, Michigan. Never mind the tampered with machines in Wisconsin. And what about Florida, where the numbers completely don't add up? And what about the recounts that people actually paid money to have done, and yet they were stopped because there was just no cause for it, even though the numbers make no sense, and even though the American people would really like to have some reassurance that maybe some of this might have actually been a valid thing, but rather than give us the reassurance, we're going to stop the recounts, and so I guess we just never get to know. And isn't it interesting that Trump would stop the recounts, that he would kick up such a fuss and hire attorneys to stop the recounts? You would think if he was so sure that he had won fair and square, he would be proud to have those recounts. In fact, he would pay for them himself to show the world that, yes, he did in fact win by a landslide, which is what he likes to say, which is really a joke considering 3 million more people in this country voted for Hillary Clinton than Donald Trump. But instead of proving to all of us skeptics that he did in fact win, he stopped the recounts. Wonder what that could possibly mean. Dear Mr. President, if Democrats had done their job, the Electoral College would have been a non-factor and delivered Mrs. Clinton to the White House. You actually said that. You knew about Russia's hacking in September, and all you did was tell Putin to knock it off? You could have declared the election illegally rigged at that point and disqualified Trump. Why didn't you? I'm sorry, but I can't believe you put the blame on Democrats for Hillary being handicapped by both the efforts of Putin and the FBI while they're working to assure a Trump win. This election was rigged. Trump said it himself, and he ought to know. Sorry, that's a side note. This election was rigged, and you're right about one thing. It should not be up to the Electoral College. Someone in my government needs to grow a spine and put an end to this. Trump's win is illegitimate. The election was hacked. Either do the election over, in parentheses, or is that too much of a hassle? Is letting this man destroy America preferable? Or disqualify him? The end. What you should have done in September. We are a divided nation. Not sure if I'm the only one that notices this, but probably I'm not. We are a divided nation. And every 4 or 8 years, we have to sit and watch a new administration tear down whatever progression we have made, whatever advances we have achieved. We get to watch those things, all that progress get torn down because, ooh, the other side says, I didn't do that, so it's not good. It has to be me that does good for this country. The other side can't do any good for this country. And if they do any good for this country, we're going to tear it down and start over from scratch. So our country never actually goes anywhere, does it? It never really actually progresses, does it? Because one side just can't stand the fact that the other side might do some good for this country. Neither side will compromise with each other. It's all or nothing. If this side can't have their way, they're going to make sure the other side doesn't get their way. They're going to do everything they can to stop that other side. First we saw it with Bush, then we saw it with Obama, and now Trump. And we've put up with it. We've put up with the whole, okay, well, I don't agree with what they're doing. I'm just going to sit and wait for them to fail, and then we're going to come in and we're going to fix everything attitude. We've put up with it. But now suddenly we're faced with a leader who's going to literally destroy what we know as this country. He's going to destroy the freedoms that we have. He's going to try to rewrite the United States Constitution and take away freedoms that we have enjoyed for 240 years or less. Some of them came later. Some of them, like gay rights and women's rights, came much later. He's going to destroy those too. He's going to take down and get rid of separation of church and state. What is it going to take for us to do something? What is it going to take to get us angry enough that we say enough is enough? I watched Bush destroy my country. In 8 years, I watched it fall to its knees. Obama could have done a lot more. He might have too if the Republican Party didn't try everything in their power to keep him from doing anything. And now we're looking at Trump. What about Trump? Are we going to sit on our hands and let him destroy our country even more than Bush did? Are we going to watch him take away all of our cherished freedoms and all the things that our founding fathers fought for and died for? Our veterans went to war for and died for? Are we just going to roll over and show our underbelly to the wolves and let them rip out our guts? Is that what we're going to do? It sure seems like that to me. Oh, let's pray that the Electoral College will save us. Okay, well, they didn't save us, did they? Didn't think they would. Because they're part of the government. They're part of the problem. Where are the true Americans? Where are the ones with a spine that will fight for all those noble words that we've heard our whole lives? Where are they? We could really use them right now. And so far, very few of them have stood up and come forward. And then when they have, we've had Trump bully them and hire his attorneys to silence them. Because Trump is rich and white, and he's used to bullying, he's used to manipulating, he's got all the tools. And he's just going to continue with this behavior because nobody has the fucking guts to stand up to him. Is that what we're going to do? We're just going to roll over? Let the bully have his way? Let our country be driven into the ground? Let this illiterate idiot with the 4th grade vocabulary humiliate and embarrass and malign and corrupt our country? Are we just going to let him? To President Obama, I am very angry and disillusioned with you. I voted for you twice because I trusted you to protect this country and my best interests, our freedoms and our Constitution. You knew about Putin's activities in September. The election at that point was already tampered with, and Trump's chances heightened, while Hillary's chances were crippled. At that very moment, strong actions needed to be taken. Fake news needed to be exposed. Trump needed to be investigated. America needed to be made aware. Our government needed to act. But instead, what did you do? You told Putin to knock it off, and you let a tampered with, hacked election continue. Now you want to blame Democrats and say not enough of us voted? Excuse me? 3 million more of us voted for Hillary than Trump. In the meantime, we had suppression of minority votes in several states and tampered with voting machines as well as lost ballots. If you think we're going to accept the results of all this, you are very wrong. And now, after Trump bullied GOP members of the Electoral College, we're supposed to accept the outcome of the lemmings rubber stamping a fraudulent election. While Trump gets away with fraud, sedition, treason, and hostile actions toward other government officials? Wrong again. I will never accept Trump. I will not support a Nazi-Leninist Tea Party-led government. You have failed us. You have failed to protect my country, and I will fight for what it stands for in every single way I can. So America, or at least Americans out there that actually give a damn about this country and don't want to see it become another Nazi Germany or another Soviet Union. You know, Americans who don't want Vladimir Putin actually running our country, pulling Trump's strings, because that's basically what's going on. Those Americans who might actually stumble upon this little video, how do we fight exactly? Oh gee, I don't know. Should we sign petitions that just get ignored? Yeah, that's really worked so far. Should we write lots of letters to the White House and the Department of Justice and the Supreme Court and our state senators? Should we do that so those letters get ignored? Should we call and leave messages and state our outrage about all these things that everybody's just ignoring completely? Oh yes, Trump committed, very likely he has committed treason. Or at the very least, his campaign was meddled with, so he had a way better chance of winning than Hillary Clinton did. We're just supposed to ignore that. Except Trump is our new president. Or should we march? Yeah, that's what we should do. We should have protests. Nice, happy little protests. We could march here and march there and have peaceful gatherings and light candles and have vigils. Is that how we should fight? Because that really works, doesn't it? Except the fact that Trump is probably going to make marching and protesting and even speaking out against the law in the near future. In the near future, I might not be able to make a video expressing my anger and disgust. In the future, a person like me making a video like this could end up in prison. Somebody marching in the street, having a peaceful gathering to say that they don't agree with people being dragged from their homes and packed into trucks and shipped who knows where, might end up in jail for protesting that they don't agree. So maybe the protesting and speaking out is something that we're going to lose very quickly if we don't act quickly. So how do we fight? Well, I personally think what we need is a leader to rally behind. Somebody who actually does have a spine. Is there somebody out there who gives a damn? Somebody besides me, because I'm not that person. Somebody wrote, Laura Sempervirens, I probably said her name wrong, I don't think that's really her last name, with some good ideas for peaceful fighting. Cripple the banks and corporations that rule us without representation. Strategic action will get the RAPT rapt attention of the powers that be, and before you know it, they will finally find a way to honor the will of the people and swear Clinton in on January 21st. See, the problem with her idea is that's like a month from now. I don't think so. I think her passive ideas here are not going to have a huge effect in just 1 month, but I will continue to read what she says. My family has begun our boycott with Christmas. Instead of buying one another and my daughter as many presents this year, we rescued a puppy from the Humane Society. Little Buddha is our Christmas present this year. Build this movement. Boycott can come in so many and such powerful forms, even when engaged in limited fashion. Focus your shopping on ethical businesses more than ever. Eat more plant-based meals. Turn down the thermostat and put on another layer. Going veg and using less heat are powerful ways to starve the fossil fuels industry. Follow tips from newdream.org. Take real actions. Take pictures and videos of these actions or your thoughts and post about them. And then she says on her page, which is https:// www.facebook.com/bankexitandboycott_Trump/. That's her whatever. I'll put the link below. So those are some ideas, but you know, something tells me that those ideas aren't going to really make anybody sit up and take notice. Is it time for us to fight for our country and what it stands for and what we believe it should stand for? I remember the day when I used to walk around feeling really good about America, feeling like we were the good guys in the world, you know? And now I feel like this must be what people in Nazi Germany felt like when Nazis took over. Only worse, because I highly doubt people in Germany back then actually believed themselves to be the good guys of the planet, like Americans tend to feel. I don't feel like we're the good guys of the planet anymore. I feel like we're the new horrible people, like we're the big version of North Korea, or we're going to be very soon. Are we going to just sit back and let that happen to our country? Are we going to sit back and let people be persecuted and watch people lose their rights? Imagine that you're a gay person and you finally get to marry somebody that you love, and it's legal. You're legally married. Finally. You can make that ultimate expression of love to another human being. Oh, excuse me. New administration comes in. We're going to rip that right away. Just like women who finally get the right to have control over their own body are constantly, from election to election to election, worrying about whether they're going to lose that right any given time. Anytime there's a Republican administration, women worry about what rights they're going to lose. And now gay people finally get to marry. How long is their legal marriage going to get to last? I've heard somebody say that I don't know if it was fake news that I read about the threat that if you're married and you're the same sex, you can go to jail. I'm sorry, they were legally married. You can't put them in jail. But then again, Trump might want to rewrite the Constitution and completely redefine common sense, which is basically the Constitution that we've built our society on. So when is enough enough? When are we going to be to the point where you remember the olden days when people believed so much in their country, they would fight for it? Remember those days? What happened to that? Are we so complacent? Oh, we'll just sit and hope things get better. Or are we going to fight before they take away our rights to fight? Are we going to sit back and let this happen? Just food for thought. It's been a very horrible day. This whole nightmare, it's something I just wish would end. I keep hoping that somebody in our government wakes up and says, okay, this is not going to be allowed. Obama took some oaths when he took office to protect and to preserve our Constitution and our rights, our freedoms. That's his job. And here we are, our nation is facing one of the greatest threats to those things ever. Is somebody going to wake up? Is somebody going to suddenly realize what is on the line? Is a new leader going to rise up? Somebody to take a stand that people can rally behind and say enough is enough. That's my hope.